to grenade slots, it ought to go without saying nanite repair grenades. The engineer in this particular format, you're not designed to get out your tank and fight. The only time you're getting out your tank is if you're repairing somebody else, or alternatively, if your tank is about to fucking die. Other than that, you live in the tank. So things like frag grenades, pointless. It's purely just going to be nanite. Bit of a controversial one for your ability slot. I would go with the Spitfire turret, purely on the basis that when you're in a lockdown position, camping the shit out of a Sunderer, or a spawn, or a building, the one thing that's going to fuck you is going to be some fairy with C4. You get out, you drop the Spitfire to your rear. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as soon as it sees something, it's going to go off. When it goes off, you move. You save your tank. When you've got 5 or 6 lightnings together, you'll need one of them out there, and you rotate it round. Nice and simple. In terms of your firearms, things like primary weapon, secondary weapon, that's entirely preference. Some people like archers, some people like shotguns if they have to go and kill a light assault out of their vehicle. Personally, I use an AMR 66 with a commissioner, but none of that really matters. It's only if you're on a dedicated op. So your personal firearms are your personal firearms. It's really about your ability slot, which ideally ought to be your Spitfire turret, your suit slot, which ought to be a mine carrier, your grenade slot, which ought to be nanite repair grenades, and your utility, which is mines. Everyone cool?
Yes.
Right, this is the boring basic shit. So, now we've covered how to not be a scrub in an engineer uniform. Back in your lightnings!
Still waiting for my move of the Bravo squad. You guys?
I just joined in.
Oh.
So, lightning. Long and short of it, frame and build options. When we come to the frame and build, obviously, your frame is going to be things like the performance chassis, and your build is going to be things like utility and defense. For performance, I will always personally go with Rival. On the simple basis, it's more maneuverable. Example. You can fuck around and you can T-bone and you can dip in and out of cover, and the reality of this is top speed on performance is going to be 85 kph. Top speed on this bad boy is 68. The reverse top speed on this is 45. The reverse top speed on the other is 35. Realistically, the Lightning is all about shooting and scooting. It's about getting in and getting out. It's about getting into a position of good cover, popping around, pulling back, over and over again. You can't do that with the same amount of maneuverability with any other chassis. It's preference, but I would always personally go with maneuverability over raw speed, because you can already outrun every MBT Bora Mag Rider with an afterburner, so you don't need the extra speed. Harassers are going to catch you anyway. What you don't want to do is be showing your arse to somebody, and the easiest way not to do that is merely to have the ability to turn them. So that's what I run with respect to my performance. I go for Rival as opposed to Racer, and when we look at defense, a bit of a mixed school, but I will always go for the nanite auto repair, simply because this thing has got 3,000 armor, which is 1,000 less than the Sunderer. You are a paper grapefruit thrower. So ideally, you're going to fire and you're going to keep moving, and over time, you will regen. When you mix that with fire suppression, you've got a 12% overtime repair, and you can literally run off the fucking damage. You go find somewhere, you get repped up, you come back, and you never leave your tank. That's what I go with personally. I would recommend it overall. Some people talk about, oh, well, what about the increased armor? Fuck that. You shouldn't be getting hit in the first place. And if you are getting hit, the chances are it's going to be some scrub with a rocket or a lock-on. You want to be able to move, repair, and run.
What about vehicle stealth? If you're saying we're move in, go out.
Vehicle stealth is nice, and there are times and places of vehicle stealth, predominantly when you're going hunting at close range using heat ammo, and I said heat and not an AP round is a reason for that. But for the most part, if there's this many of us, you're going to be seen. So there is 0 point having stealth. If you're playing solo, yeah, fine, if you feel like it. I personally go for survivability and the repair over time, because again, if you don't and can't do that, you are going to find yourself having to get out your vehicle, and nothing will fuck you more than someone catching you when you're repairing rather than running and regenning.
Good
But it's,
point.
I would say, in a group like this, 0 point stealth, because we're about as stealthy as Mrs. Doubtfire wearing a pink drag dress.
Yeah. Okay, good point.
So, and again, utility, I will go for fire suppression. I mean, there are other options available, like smoke, yeah, because that's got a real fucking point to it. So, always fire suppression. That 12% when maxed out will really save your ass. And remember, on the battlefield, everybody wants a cheap, easy kill. They see your lightning smoking, they're going to come for it. The easiest way for you not to be the poor bastard that gets shot is to get that fire out, i.e. the smoke, as quickly as possible. So you simply bang your reps, keep moving, rep over time. Now the fun part, your armament. So lightning on lightning combat. At this kind of range where I am to Atlas, you would want to be using heat ammo. Purely because heat ammo has the fastest reload speed out of all the lightning rounds. It's 2 seconds. You could use AP, it does do more damage, but it's got a 3-second reload speed. AP is for range exchanges, where you're dipping in, dipping out. If you miss a round with AP, you've lost that fight. So AP for range, heat for close combat against other lightnings. Viper is an excellent weapon at 250 a shot, if you can land the vast majority of your Viper shells. Again, point blank, Viper is great, but you miss a clip and you can get fucked. It really comes down to how good of a driver you are. So, I would say any engagement in and around where Atlas is now, I'll be using heat. If I really wanted to get tasty with it, the kind of range where I am to Atlas in a second, I'll be using AP. Depends on playstyle, but close range heat, long range AP, and the same goes for engaging any other armored unit. The other main issue we're all going to want to know about is infantry. So AP is nice for farming, but realistically, and there's a lot of people that say otherwise, but fuck them, they're scrubs, you want Hesh. Hesh is the god of killing infantry. But I've seen a lot of people try and shoot at infantry, and it's all about positioning. Take where we are right now, where my lightning is. Not the best place in the world for an infantry fight. To my rear, I've got hills that overlook where they can get on the rear side, and I would literally have to land a shot on them, not what I want to be doing. There are trees which I can't get splashdown damage on, so again I've got to hit them bang on. Not what I want to be doing. So in a lightning fight, when you are farming using Hesh rounds, you position yourself, you pick the fight. You are the fastest armored tank on the fucking battlefield, use it. Infantry, you don't want to hit. You want to hit next to them, because you are going to splash the fuck out of every poor bastard with them. You get high, and you put the round on the ground where they're going to be. And the same goes for leading. Reverse slopes are your enemy. Where I'm approaching right now, you can put 3 guys behind that, and the chances are, unless I can manage to circle quickly enough and fuck with them, they're going to end my day. You've got 2 choices when you see an obstacle like that. You either completely fuck off, or you approach it from another angle. But don't stay in exchange fire, say where RJK is right now, because you're going to lose. You might get 1 of them, you might get 2 of them, but you realistically only need to take 2 hits, because then you're smoking, and then everyone sees free lightning kill, and everyone on the battlefield is coming for you. So, positioning wise, always be moving when engaging targets on a hill, because you're going to get no advantage from standing still, otherwise everyone's going to shoot you. You do get a good position to fire, a good position is haul down. Vast majority of your tank can't be seen, but you can still get shots out. And you rock it backwards and forwards like a woman with psychiatric problems. In and out, popping your rounds off. But you shoot and you scoot, because light assault will be coming for you. So these are the real basic points of lightning firing, moving, positioning. Now, here's a fun part. Everybody, line up in a column. South. just to make everyone turn around. Okay, marry it all up so we're all approximately even. One more there.
Do you mean trail behind you or go in lines?
In line, so I want 2 parallel lines, because right now, here we go, beautiful. Okay, when we advance, not too tight, but you want to be doing it in a minimum of 2s. Now everyone's got Minesweeper, so there's no chance of anyone getting fucked. So you would drive like this, keeping a reasonable distance between yourself and the person in front of you. Because if I have to stop suddenly and pull back because of a vanguard, we don't get shunt explosions. Yeah? The other part is, so you would drive approximately like this. Now, everyone hold your position for a second. Let's pretend for one moment I am big, bad fucking vanguard. And I come out the trees here. What would you normally, other than that, what would you normally seek to do?
Go back, reverse.
Yeah. So you're either going to reverse, but with those kind of numbers, realistically, you're all going to engage me. But when you engage me, if I'm on my own, what you can quite easily do, if you're in pairs, is the 2 people behind you take place on your left and right, and the 2 people behind them go to their left and right. And immediately, you've got a firing line of lightnings. And the nice thing about that is if any of you need to retreat to actually get out of the actual line of fire, you retreat in such a way where you pull back, not immediately behind the other lightning, and then reverse. Because the other lightnings which haven't been shot will now start to take the fire while you kick in your fire suppression and fuck off. So let's try that. Let's go into a column.
Let me guess, facing north?
Mm-hmm. All about getting used to maneuverability. Okay, now prance along down. Oh no, it's Vanguard! That's it. Now, hold positions and don't move. So, if any of you had to go back, you've got a clearer path to do so, because the one thing that will get you fucked in any tank fight is the ability not to reverse. You will get fucked. Equally, when we're doing this, we'll probably have Sunderers with repair modules behind us. Keep an eye on where they are, because they can be clumsy bastards, and you always want to go backwards. Always. Ideally, you'll probably position yourself to turret and pivot and move, but that's where you want to be. You want to be in a line so you can advance in a steady way, putting fire down. At the moment's notice you're getting fucked, you're able to get out and use the tank in front as cover. Because the other tank hasn't been hit yet, and you can pop your rep, and when you've healed up, you take your place back in the line, and it's a steady rolling thunder. That's how you use lightnings as combat tanks. Alright, simple enough.
Can we practice the line again?
Let's go again. Let's go back into column. South. So 2x2s. Alright. Once you're in, start moving. Yeah, now reverse. The key to all of that is being able to be wide so you can all of you shoot without hitting the person in front, and being able to retreat without getting stuck and killed. So, points of a tank. If you guys can form like a crescent around me, starting here, to where... Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so rear is key. You will get 100% damage buff to any shot you land in the arse of the tank. This is my arse. It does not matter which way I am facing when the shell hits, it's where it was when you fired it. Yeah? I know, right? So, you ideally want to be putting your rounds in the arse. You don't want to engage if you're in a stealth situation till you have that shot. Next part, this is my side. There's a 15% reduction on hitting me here. And finally, this is my front. You get jack and shit bonus for that. Now, some vehicles have 0 bonuses or debuffs. A Sundra doesn't have an arse. It doesn't matter where you hit the fucking thing, it's going to do the same damage across the board. Ants, I believe they're the same. Things like flashes have a ridiculous penalty. You do like 200% more damage to them. In ESF, if you hit with a gun, you do about 400% more damage to them. If you hit a Liberator or a Galaxy, underneath it, it has got a reduction, but that doesn't matter if you get those hits. It's a fucking nice thing anyway. So, in effect, the bog standards of the Lightning are aim for the arse where possible. Failing that, put as many rounds on target as you can. When we go into combat, you're going to go in column, and you're going to spread into line when you hit the enemy. You always want to be able to retreat, to be able to check your arse. We've covered what you want to be carrying. Now, really simply, how do you farm a building? And we have time, we've got 6 minutes. Okay, follow me. Let me find that, will do. Okay, so let's go in column. Doesn't have to be perfect. Vanguard line.
Where is the Vanguard?
Doesn't matter.
Imagination.
Let's try it again. Because it isn't always going to be perfect in an open area. The part is... And Vanguard line. Nice. Okay, hold your positions. Real fast while I'm doing this. Let's pretend I am that Vanguard and I'm a big bad bastard with my shield on. So Nikolai and Red, how would you approach this to attack me? If it's just 2 of you.
Just 2 of us?
Should you?
Move around you. Try
Exactly.
to
Now?
Precisely.
like from either side. Like I would tell Red to stop the fuck moving so we can get behind you because you can't.
Precisely.
One way.
Precisely. You would never go the same way. Either way, because no matter what I do, if I turn to engage Nikolai, my arse is to Red. If I turn to engage Red, my arse is to Nikolai. I can only ever shoot one of you. You always split down the sides when you're 2-on-1 with the tank. We only use line in big engagements or if there's more. Basically, line is for when you're putting copious amounts of fire on a position. If you're engaging tanks on a 2-on-1 or a 1-on-1, you'd never stand still. You always circle. And if it's 2 of you, you circle and ideally try and T-bone the bastard, which is where you put your tank in such a way where he can't reverse.
So not worried about engaging you in close quarters with your Vanguard?
There's 2 of you, you're going to kill me. I'm going to kill one of you anyway. Got to hit you 3 times.
Okay, got it.
Okay, right, so real fast, because we've got a few minutes left. Tech plants have all been here. Let's very quickly spaz out and form around the ammo tower. When you're firing into a building, remember what I said. You're aiming, if you can't get a clean hit on the person, to hit something with splash. So people always shoot walls. Our walls are fine, but what about windowsills? What about ceiling walls? Because the splash goes down and in, yeah? You want to make that round connect with something close to where you know they are. That is a good shot because you're going to splash every fucker who's around that window. Same goes for downstairs. You put your rounds on the ground. Can't get a shot to get a clean kill, the round goes in to the floor. Once you fired, you retreat. Because for 3 seconds, you can't do shit but get shot. I don't tend to do it. It's there is a link inside the forum post which talks about recursion and the third person light. I will always drive in third person. I'll always engage in first. If I'm shooting in third person, I can't hit shit. So what I will generally do is drive third person, see some bad dude, try and get as much cover as possible in such a way where I can maybe get out, get a shot and get back in. And then straight back in.
So you first find cover before you even shoot?
If I know it's going to be a protracted fight, then yes. It's about damage mitigation, because there's always going to be more than you think there is. So they're the basics of lightning driving and shooting and equipment. Any questions? Get dildos. Okay, did any of that not make sense?
I have a hard time comprehending what you said after pulled lightnings.
It's okay. We're usually in the galaxy being shot. It's not a problem.
Could you repeat everything after "Here's my arse"?
I can, but only in Klingon.
Nice.
So yeah, and remember when you're in columns, give space. Imagine if it's like you were driving. Okay, if you weren't German, imagine you were driving. You wouldn't be up somebody's arse, because if they need to move, you're gonna get them fucking killed. They need to stop. This is perfect right now. This is exactly how I would do it. I mean, just look at this.
One C4 for all.
Always use cardinal directions, east, southeast, northeast, and the same goes for callouts. It should be universal across. So if I was to see a Sundra over there, I'll be calling an enemy Sundra west. And if it was up high, that's it, but nothing specific to a lightning. Yeah, always be parallel, 1. And 2, when you're behind somebody, if you're on the left side of the column, you go to the left. If you're on the right side of the column, you go to the right. And you are going right, left, and you're forming a natural line. So the line's winding out almost like a Y shape.
Training, we should wrap this up now.
Yep, I'm all done. Thank you very much for attending, boys and girls.
Thank you.
Anyone currently in the channel want to play
I learned a lot.
please
Thank you.
write so now in the fucking platoon chat.
Say it again, repeat that.
Play something other than infantry, please write so in the fucking chat.
Spawning out.
Rather will play armor if possible. Hey, Londo, am I too late?
Yes, you are.
I did listen in the last 10 minutes. Seems like
Cool.
you're under control.
Yeah, it's lightnings. It's not rocket science.
No, that's why we'll let you do that.
I did check last night, though, and I have about 15,000 kills in the lightning, which is quite depressing.
Okay, guys, if you're coming down, move down.
Which, I might add, is more than frozen. Suck it.
I got 120 something kills yesterday with a lightning hash in less than 2 hours.
What continent are we going to?
KD of 74.
Part-timer.
Lundo, you're going with the armor or infantry?
I'm going with infantry, matey.
Okay, I'll be with you.
What continent are we on?
We need just in Reaper 1.
London, you go in infantry?
Yes, thank you.
No, I'm gonna move you up in Reaper 1.
Thank you.
Awesome, guys.
I am. I just shouted. I think Tap's joining me, and I'm waiting for Pab to get an invite to the people. And I will open up the squad in a sec. No, it might already be open. I'm not sure. Just waiting for confirmation, but I believe we're going to be staying on Hossin, guys. So make sure you get to Hossin. Right, guys, I'm just trying to sort some stuff out. Just give me a sec. There you go. So if you're playing Armour, you're in the squad, yeah. So I'm just screens. Charlie, dude, which one do you think we're playing in? And don't worry, you are in it. Hey, Carver.
Oh. So, can I change my squad by myself?
Uh,
Huh?
I'll be in channel. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to sort out something. For some reason, my internet is fucking up.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah. So I'm in the process of just sorting it out. So let's hope it gets better.
Well, you have all the time in the world. The queue is fucking huge.
Yeah, what we're looking at
23.
is anyone else on con apart from myself.
Me.
Fuck, Laura, why are you not even in on squad, dude?
Because I've quite literally just logged on.
So you're not on the con.
Oh, no, I'm on, I'm in Colt here. Which...
I'm heading
Cool,
to Hossin now.
Hossin.
Yeah, great.
I'll drop you an invite.
Queuing for Hossin.
Alright, I'm here.
The one